What's up, everybody? My name is Shannon and I am still waiting for my Satyr, and today we are talking about Tash Hearts Tolstoy by Catherine Ormsby. So this is going to be more of like a full review slash I'm going to give my thoughts on this book, so there probably will be some spoilers in it. Normally whenever I want to talk more about a book in that way, that's why it gets two videos, like a everything you need to know or a let's dig deeper kind of thing. But I really only want to make one video about this because I really only want to talk about it one time. So Tash Hearts Tolstoy is the story about a 17-year-old girl. She has a web series, she's got a vlog, she's, in high school, she's got all of these dreams about going to film school and this big, great, like, Vanderbilt Ivy League school, like that kind of stuff. And she's got these two great best friends. And then one day her web series blows up and suddenly she goes from having like 400 subscribers to having like 50,000 subscribers. And very quickly her life kind of starts to change in that regard because she's got all of this exposure now. She suddenly has fans that are making gift sets of her work. She's got people that are sending her like hate messages because they hate her story. And she is slowly letting fame kind of get to her. She starts to have like these online relationships. She kind of starts to neglect like her real life friends, and she is nominated for an award for this whole series. So her life is changing. This passion project that she had is suddenly so much bigger than it had ever been. So it is mostly about Tash kind of navigating and figuring this out. So I think it's pretty obvious to see why I wanted to read this book, because I do see myself in the character. I also have two like YouTube series. I have this one, which is kind of like Tash's vlog, and then I also have Network 1901, which isn't like Tash's web series Unhappy Families in that it hasn't blown up like that, but it is a lot bigger of a project. A lot more goes into it, whereas with this, I can just sit down and talk about what I love to the camera. I don't really have to do a lot of research or go super in depth. It's just me talking about the things that I like. And Tash is super passionate about books. Like, she's obsessed with Tolstoy, obviously, and Anna Karenina, that's what she adapts her web series into. So I saw myself in this character. And yes, this book is very topical YA contemporary type of thing. Like, it is, like it says that on the cover, it's a BuzzFeed best YA book of 2017. It's, it's got all of these buzzwords in it. It does exactly what you think it's gonna do. It's pretty fluffy. It ends the way that you think it would end. Like, oh, she falls in love with online guy, but online guy is a jerk, but like childhood best friend guy is here for you, so like hooray, and like all of this stuff. So it's really cheesy. It is kind of lame, but the main reason I wanted to read about this book is because it's one of two books that I know of, the other book is Let's Talk About Love, that showcases asexual representation. This is a sexuality that is hardly ever explored in media at all. In fact, it, along with bisexuality and pansexuality, is often regarded as like the unicorns of the LGBT, because a lot of people think that those sexualities don't exist and that people don't feel that way. Well, I'm here to tell you that people do feel that way, because I also identify as asexual. This is something that I don't talk about very often. This is another reason why I only wanted this to be one video, but I was really excited when I started to hear more about this book, because at first it looked like, that fluffy contemporary YA thing that it is, so I wasn't sure if I wanted to read it, but I kept seeing it pop up in asexual spaces, specifically on the asexual blog. They were doing a little review thing for it, and it made me really excited. I went into this book with a lot of high hopes. Like I said, I really, saw myself in Tash. I was like, okay, this book might be really good for me. Like, maybe it'll like give me some insight, maybe it'll give me like something. So I was really excited about it. And there are some good things in this book. There are some really good exchanges about what it's like to be on an online space, what it's like to have it kind of take over your life and your passions and all of that. And there is some good things about being asexual in this book. But overwhelmingly, what it is I am unbelievably disappointed in this book. I was really upset when I finished it. I think it was about halfway through I started to kind of not be feeling it anymore, and then I got about 75%. I was like, okay, I'm actually really disappointed in this. And when I finished this book, I was not happy at all. I actually felt really empty and really like, is this what people think of me. Like, Tash is a horrible main character. By the end of this, she is not a very good person. She's very selfish, and overwhelmingly what I was getting from this book was like, you can't have online friendships because they're gonna turn out awful every time, and you need to focus only on your friends in real life. They're the only ones who understand you. Nobody else could ever possibly understand you. It's great if your passions take off and all of that stuff, but don't get your head too high in the clouds, because none of that stuff really matters, and you need to keep your feet on the ground. And like, there is stuff to be learned in that, but it was just such a downer. And as somebody who is in online spaces and have a lot of online friends and identifies this way, I felt like it was almost telling me off for the way that I was living, and it made me really sad, and then it made me really angry, and then it just made me really empty. I do not think this book was very well researched. I do not think it was very well thought out. I think this author, and I could have this totally wrong, I haven't done any research into what she did, but I feel like this author just pulled a whole bunch of stuff that was really like hip and timely and would get like clicks or whatever, and just threw it all into a book and then just shipped it off, because everything in this is like super stereotypical and none of it reflects what it is to actually live this way. Maybe it does for some people. It can, certainly. I mean, it's the reason why some things are stereotypes, but for the most part, it feels like the author really phoned it in, and I was just so disappointed in that. And it actually gets even worse because I'm from Nashville, and this character like waxes poetic about Nashville, and it was so cringy. I thought this book was gonna be great for me, and it turned out to just be tailor-made for me to hate it, and that was really, really upsetting. Now, as far as the writing goes, the writing's not great. I mean, but like, what else would you expect from this type of book? But again, it's the fact that she just phoned everything in that really gets to me. And what gets to me more than anything is that there's only 2 books that I know of that have asexual representation, and this is one of them, and I absolutely hate that it's one of them, because I feel like it doesn't properly represent what it means to be on the asexual spectrum. And if somebody read this book and they were completely unfamiliar with this identity, I feel like they would leave feeling more confused than ever, or having the completely wrong interpretation or any of this stuff. I don't feel like it calls you to learn more about it. I don't feel like it does any of that. All it does is show this sexuality that needs representation. It needs to be talked about. It needs to, breathe, and there's so much to it. There is so much to learn about it, and this book doesn't show any of it. It just showcases all of the stereotypes about it, and like I said, it just makes me really angry, and I want to recommend this book because we need ace representation and we should support it, but I hate that this is what we have to show for it. So I would really love to know, from you guys out there, if you have any recommendations, or if you know of any other ace rep books, I would really like to get them, because I want to explore this. This is something that we need. Representation in all form matters, and asexuality is no exception, and I want to find that. I want to find what's good. I want to be able to bring it to you guys so that you can go out and find it as well. And yeah, overwhelmingly, this was kind of a downer of a video, but it was really a downer of a book. So would I recommend it? Not really. I gave this book 3 stars on Goodreads, which translates with my personal feelings to about a C-. But honestly, the more I think about this book, the more I just want to give it an F and just call it a day and move on from it. But yeah, I'm done talking about this book. I don't want to think about it anymore. So yes, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe so you can talk books with me every week. That is everything I got for you today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!